Hey, what's going on, guys? Adam here from MAJcubing, and welcome to our second episode of Solvecast. I'm joined by the rest of MAJcubing. Say hello.
Hi.
Right, and that is Jake and Luke. And I'm also joined by a very special guest, Matthew Wardle. Say hello.
Hello.
So we do have some amazing topics of discussion for you guys. So I think we should start with PBs and what cubes we made, because a lot has changed over since the last episode we made, which was over a month ago. So what cubes do you guys make?
I made for 3x3 the GAN 354M. I think it's a nice cube.
Yeah, not much has changed.
Quite a lot.
Not much has changed there.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for the 3x3, I mainly GAN XS.
Yeah. You've made that for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm still the Wardle GTS 3M shout.
But you have got a new cube main, haven't you?
I do have a new cube main. It's very exciting. I'll tell you for that. I've got the X-Man Wingy cube now, which is by far better than the Cyclone Boys cube, and I'd say it is probably the best, if not second best, to the Moyu on the market right now.
Speaking of a Moyu Aoyon, I might get that. It does look really good. And for me, I've got a new 3x3 main, and that's the MGC Elite. I did main the Volk Elite beforehand, but the MGC kind of captivated me, and it's got a similar level of customization. However, the turning's a lot nicer and less blocky.
Yeah.
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 I also got recently a Pyraminx, which I'm enjoying. It's roll with
I think Pyraminx are actually quite fun, even though it's a funny shape and stand on it can be quite painful. I don't know why you'd stand on it, but
never stand on the right side of Pyraminx, kids.
Yep.
So a lot has changed over the past month in cubing. We've got new releases, big news, and so a lot's changed. The QiYi MS series months to go and all that. But on a personal level, we just hit 300 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you for everyone who helped us hit 300.
Thank you so much.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because the last time we did a Solvecast was when we hit 100.
Yeah.
And now we're at 300.
Yeah.
Just announced the 100 subscriber special. Our life moves fast.
Yeah, it does move fast. And I believe Matthew Wardle is about to hit 200, or you may already have hit 200.
Yeah. No, I think I'm a couple subscribers away, and I do have a video planned for that.
Ooh,
go to him now. Anybody watching, go subscribe.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Actually, you can subscribe after this podcast, but the link for his channel is down in the description below. And do you want to tell us a bit more about that video, Matthew?
Yeah. So for my 200 subscriber special, if everything goes to plan, then I should be getting 3 cubes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you them. It'll be a nice surprise if you watch that video. But yeah, that should be coming probably around a week to 2 weeks after I hit 200. So
that'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll get that watch.
And I assume you order your cubes from Cubes UK. Shameless plug. But anyway, so I think we should easily move on to talking about the QiYi MS series. That's been kind of taking the cubing world by storm with an actually good budget magnetic cube.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole line is incredible. Like, for the price it is, you get a magnetic cube with amazing turning from 2x2 to 5x5, which is something you don't see very often.
Yeah, especially with the bigger cubes. And more noticeably, the magnets are actually quite strong. If my QiYi Thunderclap video will be going up soon. However, in that video I did mention my frustration at the magnet strength being very, very weak. If it was stronger, I might have mained it, but obviously it isn't.
Yeah. I think it's good that they haven't just, done a budget 3x3. They've actually taken it much further, like Pyraminx 2x2, even 5x5.
Yeah, especially that the 3x3 market is quite saturated. So to come out with a budget free magnetic 3x3 that is actually good, that kind of shifts a lot of focus onto you.
Yeah, and I think now the pressure's going to be on QiYi to make something good with their flagships.
Oh,
because if they're amazing budget line, you can just imagine how good their flagships are going to have to be.
I kind of have a feeling that we're going to have to make their cubes a lot less blocky in the future to try and captivate more people.
Just to get the sales to be more widespread across all types of cuber.
Yeah, I kind of want to see where customization leads us in the terms of maybe having it so you can choose whether you have a blocky cube or a non-blocky cube, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Maybe swap out the piece designs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So you can change it out. Obviously, it does have something to do with tensions and spring pressure, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think mainly if you've got squared off pieces, you can have a blockier cube. But if you've got like sleek designs, it's going to be a bit more pillowed.
Yeah.
Cuba Brick said, guys, imagine turning a cube with reversed magnets. I kind of don't want to imagine that. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I think it'd distort the pieces.
Yeah.
I know if you get magnet customization wrong, it does distort the pieces because it pushes them away while the others are pulling them towards each other. So it just doesn't really work very well. But it's probably like the weirdest cube in the world.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matthew?
Well, I know that CubeSolve Hero, it was one of his first like magnetizations. He got the polarization mixed up.
Oh no.
And there's a video on it actually, but it just looks horrible. Like all the pieces just pushing against each other. It just looks like it's gonna explode.
Oh god. I can imagine the amount of pops you might get with that kind of cube if all the pieces are trying to pull away from each other instead of attract.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty weird.
It doesn't sound brilliant.
Imagine one cube and them trying to imitate your turning speed and it's just shattering.
I mean that already happens, so I assume it would be a lot worse this time.
Yeah.
And still staying on the topic of the MS series, that gained a lot of publicity from JPerm, Daily Puzzles, and not QubeSolve Hero, although QubeSolve Hero, and Cuberisms. I do want to do a video on that eventually, not right now, but soon.
Yeah, I think if we collaborated with somebody and got this working, we could probably do a review of all the puzzles, which would be really, really good because not only great puzzles, I think it'd be good content.
It will be brilliant content, especially because it's a new cube. Not many videos have been released on it yet, and everyone's kind of giddy about that new VMS series now. It's something new, something exciting, and something that could theoretically revolutionize magnetic budget cubes.
Yeah.
In the way of magnetic budget cubes, we've had a lot more going for us recently. Like at one point, it was literally you get the what's it called? It's gone from my brain. But there's only a few budget magnetic cubes that you could buy. So if you want a magnetic cube, you'd have to pay a little more, which you
practically limited to. The cheapest option before VMS was the Thunderclap, and that was pretty bad. It was good, but it wasn't brilliant. And my issue is the magnet strength. If you wanted...
There's a lot of room.
Yeah, if you wanted one with decent magnet strength, the cheapest one you would get is the MGC Elite. And, well, that cube is brilliant. Some people don't want to shell out 20 to 30 quid for a cube, including shipping. People don't want to shell out around 25 quid for a cube if they're just kind of casual and just want a cheap magnetic one. And for that reason, I'd say QiYi literally hit the mark here. It's going to bring in a lot more cubers and people who are just kind of buying their first cube.
Yeah, I think at some point it was when you buy your first cube, you get the Warrior W which obviously isn't magnetic, or the Yushin Little Magic. So now that if you're a new cuber and you want to buy cubes that are cheap, you can buy magnetic cubes. It's just such a revelation that's only come about in the last few months.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good for like a beginner sort of person. Like if you had a
Definitely.
3x3 maybe, and you wanted to like get more puzzles, there's a big range of them that you can get.
Yeah, well, you can try new events now. With not shelling out a lot of money for the top of the range cubes, you can try Pyraminx with a decently good magnetic cube. And you mentioned beginners, so moving on to the topic of beginners, Monster Go GAN's beginner puzzles to teach kids and newcomers cubes. What are your guys' initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think
you
can go. All right, okay. I think it is good that they're making cubes like for kids, but my only real issue with them is it's just a bit confusing with the weird colors. Like, I think it would be better just to have normal colors. I mean, then it would just be like a normal cube. But if they're kids and then they're going to get into actual cubing, I don't think it's really going to be that helpful.
If they're colour neutral on that cube and then they have to learn colour neutrality again, it's like anything you learn on that, you kind of have to go back a few steps, which in itself isn't great, but there's always ways around it.
The idea is always there, but I feel like it could have been a bit better, maybe swappable pieces. And I would like to see an actual F12 trainer, not worrying about PLL and OLL, but a full-on F12 trainer.
They should make it F12 one. Because I know they have one where it just practices the orientation of like corners and edges. But if they had an F12 version of that, I think it'd help a lot more beginners that are trying to learn F2L.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I might have bought it since I'm just learning F2L as well.
Yeah.
Maybe like a colour neutral one.
Helping you become colour neutral, because I think for a lot of people that's pretty difficult. I mean, I learned it just because when I learned it, I didn't do F2L, and now that I've started using F2L a bit more, it's like, well, it's not that much of a change, but it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn it at the moment. I'm focusing on Red Cross at the moment, and it's quite difficult.
I'm just trying to learn F2L. But all in all, I do think it will help some people, especially younger kids. One of the cubes I do want from that line is the Cloud Cube. It sounds really weird, but I kind of just want one where you can just solve a face and be done with it that way.
Yeah.
It just
I like
for quick solving, I think it would be fun, and you can go.
Alright, yeah, I like the look of the Rainbow Cube. I'm not sure why it's called the Rainbow Cube though, because it's like not rainbow, but it just looks like a fun, just sort of like challenge to do.
I assume the Rainbow Cube would be and I put the snare quotes F12 trainer, but it doesn't seem that brilliant if it is going to be an F12 trainer.
Yeah, all the middle layer is just the same. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, obviously they're not WCA events, and I think that's almost something that I'd like to see is weirder puzzles becoming WCA events, because obviously we've got Square One.
Yushin Mouse.
Really shaped puzzle in the WCA. But I think if we had a few more current non-WCA puzzles in the WCA, then we'd have a lot of different cubers coming in.
I think we should have
especially
I can't remember what it's called, but I think we should have the step up from the Megaminx, and also the Mirror Cube.
I mean, but then solves just begin to get a bit long, and I don't know if lots of people would really like that. Yeah,
but for example, Killer Minx, that's a lot of people think that should be in the WCA, which is obviously the 2x2.
Yeah.
Megaminx.
I think the Killer Minx should become WCA.
I think it comes to the WCA. Yeah.
And moving back onto the topic of Monster Go, I want to see the Cloud Cube become a WCA event. That has a lot of grounds to become a WCA event as well.
Yeah, it has a lot of things going for it, which other events don't at the moment.
It's a very quick one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a quick one, so I assume PBs, well, not PBs, WURs, world records, would kind of be like going down really quick and then stop for years at a time, kind of like 3x3 or 2x2 now.
Yeah, I think the only thing that influences the world record now is because the top cubers all use the same method. So unless somebody learns a new method or just gets really, really lucky with their solve, we're not going to see world records as frequently as would be good for people trying to get into cubing. Because if you see world records, you think, wow, this is cool.
I think that's why Scube has a lot of potential, because while Scube is hard to get a world record unless you're really quick, Jake can flex now. It's kind of good. Like, world records are kind of easier to break on Scube than they are on 3x3, I think.
I just think newer events in general have a lot more potential because people haven't found necessarily the most efficient method, and they haven't figured out how to turn more efficiently than everyone else, separating them from other cubers. So that's why if you look at world record history for 3x3, there's lots of big jumps where people discover new things, ways to turn, and just get a lot faster.
Oh yeah, and when magnetic cubes released, that kind of took world by storm as well.
Yeah, I have a question. Which do you think is going to be harder to break in the future? The current 3x3 world record, which is like 3 point something, I can't remember.
3.47 set by YouCubing.
Yeah, or the 2x2 world record, which is like 0.48 or 49.
I think 2x2 is cool.
I don't know. It's hard to say even stop a timer that fast, really. I mean, not hard, but...
Yeah.
But it's like, if you think about... You'd have to have the luckiest case possible, and you'd have to execute it so efficiently. And even if you execute it efficiently, in a comp everyone has the same scramble.
Yeah.
So if 10 other people have that, the world record is going to be in jeopardy, but I don't think it's going to be broken.
Yeah. It would take a while to break the world record. It takes a while to break any world record, so it's kind of hard to predict when the next one will happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of want to slowly move on to some new releases that I'm personally very excited for. The GAN IV2. So, there's not much to say about this cube in the regards that it's kind of similar to the first one However, I love Bluetooth smart cubes.
I think the idea is probably sometimes better than the execution.
Yeah, and
because
that's
there
what
are a lot of hang-ups, but it's in general.
I don't think it is a bit of a novelty though. Like, you don't really need to see your cube and what you're turning on a phone. Like, it's right in front of you. I don't really understand that much.
Practicing and like planning how
I think it would be useful if, like the Go cube, it can teach you how to actually solve a cube from beginner.
Yeah.
Or my favorite idea, which I should definitely bring this to GAN, is it actually, you can scramble it yourself. Your phone can be in your pocket, and then you solve it, and it records the time. You might have to press a button to start the solve, but it records the time.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is that would probably drain your phone battery fairly quickly.
Yeah, actually, to be fair.
Potentially, but just get a power bank or something, it'll be fine.
All of that.
Okay, so that's pretty much all you can really say about the IV2. Let's move on to the Tengian 2. The Dian Tengian. That's a new release.
Yeah, it looks a bit confusing though. Like I know a lot of people have said when they review it, when you take off the sensor caps, it just looks really confusing because there's so much to customize.
I thought the GAN XS system looked confusing, but Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
same.
I watched J-Pan's video, and when he said, oh my god, that's way too much customization, I'd never really agree with him when he says that, because I love customization, but even I agreed at that point.
Yeah.
It was way too much.
It's so daunting looking at that cube because, first of all, you'd have to have a magnifying glass just to see what's on it.
Yes.
And it's just it's going to take you an hour to set it up to whatever you want it to be. And even if it's more efficient than what it used to be, I think they went a step too far with it.
It's definitely not a beginner's cube.
I feel like it's trying to be the MGC Elite. Like it's got a similar system to the MGC Elite magnets. It's got a similar system to the MGC Elite under the center caps, but it went overboard with it.
It's like they didn't want to be accused of copying other cubes, so they just made the most outlandish thing they could. And
that is exactly it. It just looks too abominable. Like it looks like it merged other cubes so hard that it just looks daunting to me.
Yeah, I must say the magnet system on it looks pretty cool though. On the edges.
I admit the magnet system is pretty good. Like 3 settings is better than 2, as you can see. Like on the you can't see on the MGC Elite because my camera's not on, but there's only 2 settings, light or strong, and having a medium setting would be brilliant for those who prefer medium magnets. However, if you look under the center caps of the MGC Elite, if you have one, or if you've watched any video, their system is perfect. You can just change the spring compression with your hands. There's 6 settings, 6 being the tightest the spring can be, and you just change the tensions with a screwdriver as normal, and that I believe is a pretty decent system, and I'm pretty sure MoYu has a similar system as well.
Yeah, the only thing I say with the MODI system, there are no number indicators, which I do like on the Tengyun, but you just cannot see. So you have to click it all the way back round to 0, then count out how many it is. And I think also because you've got this little tool to do it, if you lose that tool, it's a bit of a nightmare because you now can't change the tensions, the spring compression if you ever want to.
Yeah. But the MoYu GTS 3M, that cube looks really good, and I am going to say WRM, 1 because it rolls off the tongue, and 2 because I prefer the one without ridges, but
I think the WRM is definitely the better cube because it's got more customization.
Oh, does it have more?
Yeah, I think so anyway.
I thought it was the same cube without ridges.
No, it's a bit different.
Ah, that's pretty good.
I think the WRM for most people is better, and I kind of wish I knew about it because when I ordered mine, I was kind of still a bit new to cubing, and I just thought, wow, that's cool. It can turn. It's got weird ridges. Let's buy.
I mean, to be honest, it is a massive upgrade to your previous cube.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question. Can you repeat?
The GTS 3 would be a massive upgrade compared to your previous cube.
I don't know what you're on about. I didn't have a previous cube, I don't think. No,
definitely not. Wink, wink. Anyway, so I kind of want to talk a bit more about the Tengyun. The magnet system, it's pretty similar to the MGC Elite. You can turn it with a screwdriver. 3 settings. It does look a bit weird with the massive circles, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that.
It's like eye-catching.
It is a bit eye-catching, yeah. And Diane definitely did better than the Tengyun V1.
Yeah.
The original Tengyun. So I can kind of see where they were going with customization, considering the old one had none.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. Speaking of...
Can I just say, like, the reason this cube, I think one of the reasons they went so overboard is the original Tengyun. was everybody's mate. Like, if you were and you were fast, you had the 10 yen. And so if they came out now with something similar, it would just get shut down by the cubing community, and they obviously wouldn't make any sales.
Yeah, you can't release a cube back when it was made in 2015 or some time similar to that, and like do a few changes but have it basically the same. That wouldn't work. I think you could re-release the Tengen with a few changes as a budget cube, kind of like Yushin and Little Magic, in the fact that it's got primitive customization, but returning's really nice.
Yeah.
And that's what most beginners use.
And with breaking in, it's like as fast as you'd want from a cube. Breaking in.
Yeah, I still have the Little Magic in my cube collection, and I occasionally use it just because it's still quite nice.
Yeah, it's got a nice sound as well, doesn't it? It's not too loud.
It's not too loud, not too quiet. I did want to mention something else about the GTS 3M. You cannot change the magnets in that.
Yeah.
You're kind of stuck if you like strong magnets.
It's got medium strong magnets, and they're pretty good. And if you've got it tight, you probably won't notice it as much. But on the settings I have, which is very loose, you can feel it very distinctly if you're turning it.
Yeah, definitely. And that is pretty good. Like, I do like the NGC, not the MGC, the GTS 3M magnets, as well as its customization. Originally, I wasn't too sure about it, but the more I've used it and looked at it, the nicer it feels and looks to me. And I have been preferring looser cubes over tighter cubes now anyway.
Yeah. I think when you get to a certain point, tight cubes just don't turn as well, and so if you're getting faster and faster, the tighter the cube, the slower your PBs will increase because it's harder to go fast.
I remember when I changed from the Rubik's brand to my XS, my turning style super rough, so I had to put it on like the tightest setting with the strongest magnets. But now I've changed it to quite a loose setting with medium magnets. Yeah,
that's pretty much the same for me. Going from the Little Magic to... Actually, I did use the GAN 354M V1 before a little bit, but then I had to swap back to the Little Magic because that broke, but that was due to my me slipping on some ice. Anyway, after I used the Yushin Little Magic for a bit, and I swapped to the Volk Elite, I had to put it on its tightest setting. Well, not its tightest, but quite tight. And really, really strong magnets. Like that, the Volk Elite does have ridiculously strong magnets, which I kind of like, but I've sort of moved away to medium strong now.
I wonder if you could take the magnets out of the Volk and put it in a different cube. Because obviously it's got good magnets if you were like really, really strong magnets.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if you could make a combined cube of all the best features of every cube, I think it'd be a behemoth, but also impossible to turn.
I don't think it would be comp legal.
It might be if you actually if an actual company made it and they just combined all the elements.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Diane was trying to do with the Tengen.
Yeah, but they clearly failed on the magnetic center cap regard. Although I think that would have been way too overkill.
In the Tengen, that would have just been. It wouldn't have sold after one review came out saying it was the worst.
Yeah. I'm surprised the Tengen did as well as it did.
Yeah, I think generally the turning's good and it's a good puzzle. I just don't think the customization was there.
Yeah, it was too confusing.
Yeah, definitely. So now we're about halfway through, and we still have a lot more topics to talk about. So we're going to go for a brief intermission, and we'll be back with you in about 10 minutes. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay, guys, so we are back. So I think the first thing we are going to talk about is PBs. So, Matthew, do you want to take it away with what your PBs are?
All right. So for 3x3, my PB is 12. I'm saying 12.73 for 3x3.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Is 1.87.
Hang on, if we go back to your 12-second PB, what method do you use for that?
For that one, I'm pretty sure it was just normal CFOP with full OLO and full PLO.
That's really good, then. Nice to know that you use CFOP. So, can you go on to your next PB?
All right. So my 2x2 one was 1.87.
Whoa.
Which was really lucky solve.
That is good.
That is
That
really
is so good.
My Scube one is like I can't remember. It was 5 point something. Because
pretty good.
yeah, I don't really count it though because I didn't really know how to read cube notation then, so it was a hand scramble. But yeah.
All right.
For MAJcubing, which is the last event that I currently do, it's 2 minutes and 33. I'm pretty sure.
That's not too bad. What are people's what's the typical average for MAJcubing? Because I don't really have a reference for that.
I'd say for someone who's been doing it for about
a while.
Let's say 5 months maybe. It'd probably be about 2 minutes to 1.5 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I assume it is kind of it does take a while to do MAJcubing.
Yeah, especially for the beginner's method because it's essentially just doing F2L on cross and F2L on a normal 3x3, and then you just do some more F2L pairs for every other side.
Yeah. So Luke, do you want to talk about PBs? What are your PBs?
For 3x3, mine is 23 seconds. Really close to 24 though. So, yeah, that's mine. But for 2x2, I think mine's around 4 seconds. I don't have an exact time.
That's pretty good.
Because for some reason my timer keeps on deleting my time, so it's quite annoying.
Well, I guess I'll go next. I'm pretty boring. I don't do many events. I am learning Scube right now. So, well, I will be learning Scube soon. I've ordered a Scube. So, for me, for 2x2, I am around 11 seconds, and which is pretty bad, but I don't really practice 2x2. For 3x3, I am 29.10 seconds, which is my current PB. It's okay, but I'm always trying to improve. So, Jake, do you want to tell us about your PBs?
Yeah, for 3x3, it's not really changed much. I think it's around 25. I don't have an exact at the moment. For 2x2, it's 4.2. For Pyraminx, it's 12, and for Scube, it's 1.3.
That's actually really good. 1.3 for Scube's really brilliant. So, I think it's time for us to talk about online comps. We use Cubing time to do some online comps, especially during quarantine and national lockdown due to coronavirus. So, do you guys want to talk about your experience on online comps?
Yeah, I'll do some. So I know I've done. I think. Well, there's this guy on Instagram. He does these weekly ones, but I've stopped doing those because I'm not sure, to be honest. But yeah, those were pretty fun. It was just run on Discord. You just get the scramble and enter your times.
Well, that does sound pretty good. However, there might be cheating, mightn't there?
Yeah.
Well, there's cheating on every online comp.
Sadly.
Yeah.
When you look at this times and you're like, oh, I've done pretty well. I'm in the top 20 or whatever it is. And then you realise the top 5 people are just
0.1.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you stop the timer that quickly, but
To be fair,
what you could do, you can always report it on Cubing time, and that's how they make sure that there are no cheaters for online competitions, which I actually respect that, to be fair.
I think something I've noticed with Cubing time comps is if you put average and then it shows everyone's average in one column and then their best time in the other. If you click on average, you can have a better average than someone and still be in the place below them, which I don't get because I don't think the ordering system works very well. But from what I've seen, it doesn't actually do it all that well. So, but I think just for the general experience of doing a comp online, it's pretty new and it's pretty fun as well.
It is really fun, even if there are a few cheaters that kind of spoil it. It is still quite a lot of fun to do. My experience is pretty much the same. I always place quite low since I am pretty much the slowest out of all of us. But other than that, I just report cheaters when I see them and pretty much just do it that way, which is quite fun. I do have a lot of fun with online comps, as I assume a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Now, only one of us, Matthew, has been to a QiYi competition. So, and I understand you can talk about this for quite a while. But what is it like going there?
Well, that I've only been to one. So when you get there, you just sort of go in, and I got there quite early. So if you get there early, you're allowed to use all the stack mats and stuff if you don't have your own. That was pretty fun. I went to use one of those before, and I actually got a PB there using a stack mat. I remember it was like 20 seconds, I think.
Oh, well, that's good.
And, and then you all go sit down on a table wherever, and then they call up numbers of different groups. So you get a group number before the comp, and that's what group you're in. So if you were in group 3, when they call up group 3, you go up, you put your cube on a little piece of paper that has your name on it, and then the scrambler takes it. You go wait in the waiting area, and then the judge takes the scrambled cube and the little piece of paper to write on, and calls your name, and then you go do your time. You write down they write down your time, and you put your signature there to
verify it.
Yeah, verify it. And then you just go back to the waiting area. You repeat that for 5 times, and then you go back and sit down. And then after everyone's group's done, you can go online onto the WCA and go onto your competition, and it'll show you what rank you got.
Oh, that's interesting. Wait, so does that mean your Doncaster Open times I can check them right now?
I think you can.
Okay.
If you go to, it's kind of confusing.
I kind of want to go to a comp really to see what multi-blind's like, because that's honestly one of the most impressive events, and I really want to see it in person because it's so mad. It's just insane.
Yeah, multi-blind wasn't at the comp that I went to. That wasn't one of the events, but and it's pretty cool.
In the UK generally isn't that big. Obviously competitions, I don't know how big it was. It's not as big as obviously other things in the UK. So when you go to a comp, you can't expect all events to be there, which is a bit annoying because if you're good at an event that's fairly niche and only a few people do it in your country, it's probably not going to be at an event at the comp.
Yeah, so I just pulled up the WCA event for Matthew Wardle to see what he did in the first round. Did you get past the first round?
No, I think I was
you were 94th.
Yeah, 94.
Your average was 20. Wait, no, but your best was 26 seconds. Your average was 28.60. So that's pretty good.
Method, though.
Your average is better than mine, so I'll give you that. But that is pretty good. I wanted to go to Liverpool Open, but that's been cancelled now.
Why?
I wonder why. But anyway, moving on to the next topic, which is the GAN 330. That's interesting. It's the only decent keychain cube I've seen, but it still lacks a lot, and it isn't brilliant from what I've seen. But it's
I don't really think any keychain cube is going to be really impressive. I mean,
I don't think they will.
For carrying around, it can be okay, but you're not going to really use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get
all the
like
time.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, for a keychain cube, it is actually really good. But do you think keychain cubes will ever get good?
I think to a certain extent, like the GAN 330 is probably the best we're going to do. Purely because you've got to twist the hardware so much to even fit into that cube that at some point nothing's going to have that much effect.
You certainly do have to strip back a lot of your hardware.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially if you like try and put magnets in the 330. I don't know if they have done that, but if you do,
I did
it's not
that.
going to make a difference. I don't think anyway, because they're going to be so small.
Yeah, magnets
You
aren't
turn
going
it
to
so
help much.
slowly because of how small it
Yeah.
is. It isn't really much.
And it's not comp legal, so there's not necessarily much point in having it unless you just want to carry a tiny one on your keys for maybe just to show it.
Mainly a collector's item, I think.
Yeah, it's just there to kind of be collected.
Which does beg the question whether all of that hardware is necessary. If not, nobody's going to solve it for fun
Exactly.
unless they want to, and nobody's actually ever going to use it for comps and stuff. So the only real purpose and the only people it's going to go to are people that want to cube very discreetly.
Yeah. Yes, because cubing's something to be ashamed of, apparently. But BLCuber said, I think keychains will eventually be magnetized. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think maybe in the future. But again, the magnets will have to be small, and at that size, you can't really get that much magnetization in it.
Yeah.
I think they're not really necessary in a keychain cube like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like, if you're not going to be using it professionally or like as your main, I don't really see the point in making it more expensive and adding magnets if it's not even going to change that much.
It's more of a collector's item, and a collector's item only needs to be for showcase, not for use.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, I just don't think it would be that useful to have it there. Maybe you want to have it on your keys because it kind of looks cool, but other than that, that's about it. Or maybe you could attach it to your bag.
Yeah, to say that it's like £8 as well, you could get like one of those key MS series, which we talked about earlier, for around that price.
Yeah.
So,
like a QiYi MS would be a much better investment of your money, especially if you don't have one of the events like 5x5 Pyraminx or something like that. So I believe we can move on to some questions. So we were just asked one by BLQ, which is, what is the most customizable cube that you guys have? Do you guys want to take that away?
Yeah, mine is the XS, the GAN XS.
Mm-hmm.
It has like two. Wait, let me have a look here. Sorry. Yeah, it has two different like adjustment things in its center, and then obviously the magnets on the edges.
Yeah. So, Luke, what's the most customizable cube that you have?
Yeah, probably my 3x3, my GAN 354M. I mean, like 2x2 and 4x4, I don't think they need to be as customizable because the main, what's it called?
Okay, so we'll come back to Luke. Jake, what's the most customizable cube that you have?
I think we're seeing a trend here. It would have to be my main 3x3, the GTS 3M. Yeah. And although you can't change the magnet strength, obviously the tensioning system is very good.
Yeah, so I'm the one who has probably quite a lot of 3x3s, mostly because for YouTube, but I see it as a bit of a tie between my Volk Elite and my MGC Elite. The MGC Elite only has 2 magnet settings instead of the usual 3. However, it does have a lot more spring compression settings. However, the Volk Elite has more magnet settings and less spring compression settings.
I think the Volk's probably more customizable, just in general. The benefits from the cube, you'll get more with the Volk.
Yeah, like it's such a small difference with the spring compression. Like if you go from 1 to 6, it's noticeable, but if you go from 4 to 5, it's not that noticeable difference. So
Yeah.
like I've got it on 2 because it's just slightly slower and more controllable than 1 and a little more stable, and that's about it for the difference. But
Yeah.
overall, both cubes are really good. And so, we've also got 2 other questions. Would you rather solve the Rubik's 4x4 or the Lan Void cube?
Neither.
I mean, Jake does poise. Jake does have a really, really good opinion there on neither. However, if I have to choose one, I'd choose the Lan Void cube because I can't solve 4x4 and I can't be bothered learning it on a Rubik's brand. That being said, my current 4x4 is just as bad. So, yeah.
I would have to say the Void Cube, not because it's good, because obviously you can get parity and it's very difficult to a 3x3, but
Yeah.
the Rubik's Revenge 4x4, whatever you want to call it, is probably one of the worst turning puzzles on the market right now, apart from the bigger Rubik's brands that you can get. It is
Rubik's
just...
should just stop at 3x3.
It was...
Yeah.
I don't think people realised, even their Speed Cube variant of 3x3 was worse than any cube, any professional...
Even the GAN
cube.
one, even the GAN tiled one sucked. Because
Yeah.
Rubik's did a collaboration with GAN for that tiled one, and that sucked. Like it was good.
It was better. Rubik's brand.
It was better, but it still sucked compared to what we have.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, Rubik's Speed Cube, it's like £20 as well, and you can get a really good cube for that
you can
amount.
get an MGC Elite for that amount.
Yeah.
So there's one more question that we have, which is: would you rather lube your GAN cube with olive oil or Vaseline?
No.
I mean, we all know the answer is going to be neither. But if we have to choose one, I'd say olive oil because it won't burn the pieces and you can wash it out pretty quickly.
Vaseline does morph the pieces more than I'm assuming olive oil is. I don't know if anyone's ever tried using olive oil. If you have, let us know because you need some serious help.
Yes, we can help you.
But
I know.
I think generally it's olive oil.
Yeah. Okay, so we just got a new question from BL Cuba, which is why is something like the GAN XS more expensive than the MGC Elite? Honestly, it's more to do with the brand, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite old.
a paradox.
Because, don't get me wrong, GAN cubes are brilliant, but they're not worth like 50 to 60 quid. I'd say they're more worth around 30 to 40, similar to what the Volk 3 Elite is worth.
Yeah.
It's much.
I think
I think it's much. I think it's worth about the same as the Volk Elite, not much more. And I know a lot of big cubers use it, but that's because it's good. But it's not so good to be worth 60 quid. If you have the money and you can, and you have nothing else to spend it on, then you might as well. However, the MGC Elite does turn really similar, and I said it feels a lot like GAN Cube.
Yeah, I think the main reason why it's really expensive though is just because of like the customizability, and it's just got such a wide range of different ways you could have it set up.
But yeah,
So
by that definition, the MGC Elite has a similar amount of customizability, so it should be 40 quid. So, but it's not worth that, and I think MGC knew that people wouldn't pay 40 quid for an MGC cube, so they priced it a lot lower.
Yeah, I think GAN has done what iPhone did. I don't want to get into this because this is a bit weird, but GAN built expectations by setting their cubes at a high price point, so that I think in the future, and as they have already, if they make a budget cube, it's still not a budget cube. It's a regular priced cube. But it's like what iPhone did with the iPhone 11. They had these 800 and they kept building an £800 cube phones. And then when the iPhone 11, it was £600. Everyone was like, what? No way. That's crazy. But it actually is.
Very
You could
expensive.
get a much better phone for that same price. So it's the same with GAN.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do believe GAN is kind of inflating their own price up a bit. Like, and don't get me wrong, they're brilliant cube. If I could, I'd have one because it's a brilliant cube. However, it's not worth the money, and as such, I'd rather settle with the MGC Elite, which is a brilliant cube, definitely worth more than 20 quid in my opinion. The corner cutting is phenomenal, and the customization is just as good as GAN's. And returning, I have to say, feels like a cross between MoYu GAN and the Volk Elite. Like, I don't know how they managed to get that freeway kind of feeling, but it does feel kind of blocky, but buttery smooth at the same time, and I can't explain it. But it does feel really good. So, honestly, I wouldn't say the GAN XS is worth 60 quid. I just say it is, and they're good.
I think, again, GAN is an amazing brand. They make really good cubes, and they do it at a price which you don't see on many other puzzles. But then again, they've allowed themselves to build that reputation because they've had this stuff in the past that's been amazing, and they've now got this stuff which is still amazing, but now they've hooked people in.
Yeah.
They can afford to jack up the price just that bit more, which people won't see as that much of an issue. But then if you think about the hardware, there are other cubes now that are doing the same thing for 20 quid cheaper.
Back when GAN was like the best cube, and there wasn't much competition for GAN to be the best cube, I would have justified the price point, but now it's not really that much justified.
I don't think GAN could have at all predicted the way the market was going to go, because for ages every company was flagship, and budget cubes were an afterthought, really.
Yeah.
But now budget cubes are the way to go, because we know people are on a budget. More people are on a budget than people are rich. So
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and I don't know whether you'd class the MGC being a budget cube, but it's cheap. But I think it's the cheapest cube where you can see some decent level of customization with the magnets and stuff. And I think that is kind of why people were hooked for the MGC Elite as well, as the way people were hooked by GAN when they first released their customizable cubes. Now, there's only one reason I justify GAN's price point, and that is the GES system. They opted for a screwless design, and I have to admit that is brilliant.
Yeah,
It looks a little really overwhelming though, but other than that, I do think it.
I'd say it is probably one of the best on the market for spring compression. I think generally it just it works so flawlessly, and I think GAN's hardware isn't necessarily the best on the market. It probably is, but I think the way the design works, that it's so easy to use and so almost silky when you turn, and the fact that even inside the puzzle, when you're customizing it, you can have this luxury experience.
Yeah.
They also have the honeycomb design on the pieces, and the just fully plastic core on some of their newer cubes.
Yeah, and that honeycomb design does help with lube dispersion, so it really does help and makes the cube feel so much nicer.
Yeah, especially making it not as grindy.
Yeah.
Like if your lube dries up.
Yeah. So now I kind of want to move on to the topic of YouCubing, which I think quite a few people who are watching the stream might be able to relate to. As you guys know, we just hit 300 subscribers, and again, I want to say thank you. It does mean a lot, and I'm really grateful. And I kind of might just hint at this, but we've got something really, really, really good planned for our 500 subscriber special, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Okay, so moving back on to YouCubing, Matthew, do you want to talk to us about what it's like to run a channel? And then we'll hop in as well.
Yeah, at the start, it's really difficult and really slow. getting
Definitely.
like the first 100 to 200 subs is just really slow, and it's all about having patience
Yeah,
and building up a good sort of
rapport
um
with people.
and a good fan base that actually enjoys to watch your videos.
Yeah, I can
And then
agree.
you also need some good sort of like editing and stuff. Like personally, I can't really speak because my videos have a thumbnail, but I think my like editing sort of makes up for having that thumbnail, and I probably will get rid of it in the future. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And channel growth, that is something, like, our channel took a slight dip in growth when I took a slight break. You guys didn't notice because obviously we pre-record a lot of our videos. And thank you, MAJcubing, for saying congrats. Again, thanks to everyone who subscribed. So I took a slight break because I had some stuff to do. And the growth kind of just, it didn't stop, but it didn't go as rapid. But obviously everything's doing pretty good now. And obviously when you mentioned starting a channel, it was a bit different for us. MAJcubing had quite a rocky start to begin with.
yeah,
It ropes. Like there was one point where we were like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work at all.
Oh,
And then
that was pretty much it.
we were just like, we're
Originally,
done.
me and Matthew started MAJcubing, but due to some creative differences, we went some separate ways, and it was all mutual. So it's not like we fell out or anything. But then it just got a bit pily, and issues popped on top of issues, and then MAJcubing almost broke apart at some point, and we didn't really know how the channel was going to go from there. So it was a bit interesting.
But yeah, I think the way being a YouTuber works is mainly luck for most of it. Like if you get, as Matthew said, the first 100 to 200 are really difficult.
Yeah.
And as we saw, we hit 100 faster than we could have thought. We were like, well, we're going to hit 100 in a few months maybe. And then it was just exponential. And
we hit 100 within about a week of our rapid growth starting.
Yeah, we were just bewildered. We didn't know what was going on. And then 200 came around, and honestly, we didn't even realize for a little bit. And then now we've hit 300, and we're still baffled as to what's happened.
Yeah. And
it's amazing.
It is really interesting. And obviously quite a lot of starting a channel is experiments. You experiment with starting a channel, and you experiment with different video ideas. We kind of built like the MAJcubing system of videos, like the editing style, how we like structure our videos. And then we figured, let's do another experiment, and we did Solvecast, and we weren't sure whether we were going to bring Solvecast back for a second episode, but then people ended up asking us to bring it back, so here we are in our second episode, and I know for a fact we're going to do a third. So, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know it's strange to do a lot of experiments on your channel, but every video you release is a new experiment. Maybe a new editing style, maybe a new thumbnail style, or maybe an entirely new different type of content.
Yeah. You also need some, like, if you're doing like unboxings and stuff, you need to like experiment with lighting and stuff, seeing which looks nice, which different camera angles. I'm experimenting using a tripod at the moment.
Yeah, I've experimented with a new camera angle in my Thunderclap video, which we'll release in about 3 weeks' time or so, because obviously we have a really weird upload schedule where Jake uploads a video, and then Luke uploads a video, then we upload a video, then Solvecast, if there's no other videos, such as like a sub-special or something.
Yeah. I think to do with the schedules, I think that this is where, so me and Adam had a bit of a disagreement whether we should schedule our videos or just release them randomly.
Oh, yeah.
And build up hype like that. And I thought, for me, if you make a schedule, I think fans will enjoy that more because they know when to come to your channel, when to when videos are going to be released,
Yeah.
and I think that can build hype for weeks.
You were definitely right on that one, I admit.
Yeah, I think generally making plans about what your channel is going to do and when videos are going to release helps people stay connected with your channel. Because if you just release one video one day and then 6 months later you release 3 videos in a row, people are going to be
You're not
bewildered.
gonna get views because no one will know you're uploading.
Yeah, most people would have unsubscribed by then, probably.
And
Yeah.
that, like, and you wouldn't. Speaking of the rocky start that this channel had, you'll notice that there was a video, and then it was 1 month, and then in between that, like Jake's video, the first video we released, had 1 month, and then it was like a 1 month gap between then and our next video, and then we kind of figured out a schedule to work, which was one video every Monday, and then we shifted that to Saturday because of school and other things that will start happening and start up again.
Yeah.
And so far we've been working on the Saturday schedule for a couple of weeks now. But if we do shift schedules, we just upload 2 videos in 1 week and then just carry it on from there.
I just think that if we ever miss out on an upload, I don't think the fans would necessarily care, but I think I'd care more than the
Yes,
fans.
definitely.
I'm just like, oh no, I've let them down.
Oh no.
What am I going to do? They'll never forgive me.
You do have some kind of sense of pressure. I try not to watch the videos we make when we upload it because I panic of what people are going to think, whether people will like it, whether people don't. And that's kind of why I like Solvecast more, because obviously we have loads of different jobs when we run a channel, advertising, social media managing, but arguably one of the most stressful ones is script writing.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird because I love writing the scripts, but the issue is you have to fact check and then double check and then get everyone else to check before you can even begin recording. And then once you've begun recording, you might miss an entire part of the script out and have to re-record that, or you might realise something wrong with the script, have to do an edit, and then give it to the rest of the group chat, and then go, is this okay? Can we do this? And then check. And the reason we have this system is so that we make sure no misinformation slips through the rugs. And here's the issue. It still happens. Luke did an A perm in his 2Look PLL video when he could have easily done something else, but we didn't notice that at the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I noticed that.
obviously, yeah, I know you noticed that. And so we got loads of comments, and then I just sort of panicked and was like, do we re-record the video? Do we re-upload it? Do we shove something in the comments saying sorry? Do we shove something in the description? And at a certain point, you just have to sort of realise that some mistakes may happen and just address them if you can. But if you can't, then it's okay.
Recording videos and stuff. I just think Solvecast is so much better because it's more like you can say what you're thinking about whatever topic you're on.
Yeah.
And there isn't this pressure to, oh no, we messed up, let's do it again.
We've probably messed up around 20 times in this Solvecast already. But that's the thing, with Solvecast, it's a lot more relaxed. We don't have a structure, we just have topics we know we need to talk about. And that's about it. Like, I've got a list of notes of things we should talk about. And so, talking about that list of notes, let's move on to the jobs we kind of enjoy and jobs we don't. I've mentioned script writing. I enjoy that. I can sit at a computer, type out for 30 minutes a new script, and then I'll fact check it, see if it's correct. If not, I'll go back, reword a paragraph or something. My main issue came from when I was recording the Thunderclap video. I wrote the script about a month before. I wrote the script about 2 weeks before this Solvecast, but that was before the QiYi MS series was released. And so, at the time, I was really like, yes, the Thunderclap is a really good budget magnetic cube, but now there's better options. So, I had to rewrite the script, and now that video is edited, thankfully.
I think if you pre-record your videos, with the other things, it may not matter. So if you're just recording vlogs and stuff, not much changes. But when we do cubing,
so much
much
changes so quickly.
hardware, PBs, world records, whatever it is, that what you say in that video won't apply in 2 weeks.
Or
So you
1
have
week.
to, you have to script, record, release so quickly. So if you record a video like 6 weeks in advance, and then after that you say, oh yeah, the world record was done on this cube, and then the world record's reset with a different cube.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, chances are there's not going to be a new world record, but the same still applies for other stuff, such as, here's one of the smaller issues that fell through the cracks. So we released our 100 subscriber special, right? But then we released the 2 Look PLL video, and the 2 Look PLL video was recorded a couple of weeks weeks in advance, and so because the 100 subscriber special, we had to we couldn't coordinate that. Cubes came re-recorded, and I just mashed all the videos together. And so for the 2 Look PLL video, what happened was we ended up going to our old intro in the newer video. So there's 2 videos where the older intro is shown after we've shown the new intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's not a huge issue, but it's just somewhat interesting.
especially with new channels for cubing, new cubing channels, because it's cubing, stuff changes, and new channels in general, you go through so many changes at the start to figure out what you like and stuff. So if you release a video, if you release a video and then a few weeks later you realise, I hated that style, I don't like whatever it is, and you almost have to think, do I delete this video? Do I not? Do I keep it up because it did well, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
If it's just
and here's something I've done. So with my new Thundercat video, while the video went well, the camera angle was kind of iffy, and I've decided I'm gonna kind of leave it because it was some brilliant recording. Like, I enjoyed the recording and everything else that went along with it, but the camera angle wasn't brilliant, I admit. And so I had to make the decision to keep that. And I know for a fact some people aren't going to like it, but other than that, I am going to repair and I'm going to change it for the next video after that.
Yeah, my on that thing, the question you asked earlier, the favorite like jobs and roles and stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite role is definitely editing.
Ooh.
You guys have probably seen my videos. I do a lot of quick sort of edits and stuff.
You do your style is similar to QSolve Hero, I admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite nice.
I like your videos. Yeah. I can't compare our style to anyone specifically. I just kind of evolved ours over time over multiple videos. Like the first video I did on MAJcubing is actually gone now because I just didn't. It was way too bad. But I did a similar style to QSolve Hero, except way worse. And then the video after that, which was Jake's video, that's when our style kind of came into existing.
Yeah, I think.
And now I've just refined it.
Yeah. Generally, as time goes on, your channel will progress and differ, and things are bound to change. Yeah. And you can't really get hung up about that, because if you think you've made that change for a reason in the past, it had to be okay at the time, and you must have thought it was a good idea. So it's good to stay on the channel. And I think while we are still a pretty fresh channel, we are going to keep evolving.
Well,
and we like our style, but there is a strong chance it may change in the future.
Yeah, well, when you say quite fresh, the channel's actually been around for around 3 months now, so it's not too new. However, we have a lot less videos than other channels because we upload once a week, and we had a huge 1 month gap between uploads at the very start. So we now upload once a week, so obviously we're going to have quite a few videos for you guys later on, and we kind of have like a 1 month rota system for uploading where it goes Jake, Luke, me, Solvecast, if there's no other videos that are important. Like, if we put a channel trailer, we're not going to remove the next upload in the week. But if there's something like a 100 subscriber special, then that will take priority over, like, Luke's video, and Luke's video will be released a week after that. Or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, speaking of channel trailer, we need one.
Yeah, I also need one. I was planning on making one soon.
Here's a job I like. Well, I was going to mention editing, but Matthew's already done that. I just find editing, I like it, but I find it a bit tedious at times. It depends. It really depends what video it is.
Yeah, well, my videos are like quite short, so I just get the editing done in about an hour. But like yours are like 8 minutes long, around that.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it's quite long for you.
It gets a bit tedious because I have to cut a lot of mistakes and pauses where yeah, okay, yeah, I know, I make a lot of mistakes, but I have to cut a lot of mistakes and pauses. That goes for everyone.
Well, actually, I don't really have to do that much because I don't
make
speak real
mistakes.
time.
Oh yeah.
No, it's I add in the audio after the footage. So in the editor, I'll like watch the sort of video and just speak and record my voice then.
Well, that would be good, and
That's
that is actually a good idea. But the issue for us is that would be really, really, really hard because obviously we're not the one. We're in separate houses, so we can't really record kind of like that.
Yeah, we can't just send like a video in and then be like, oh, I need to speak over that because
Yeah.
Be
if
a
you
bit
send
weird.
the video and while it's a good idea in theory, I don't think for a 3-person channel it'd be that good because if everyone's sending the video at once, it's recording, and Adam and Luke have got to edit that. It's going to take them ages to line up everything and whatever it is that they do.
Yeah, most definitely. One of the jobs I really love is thumbnail making. It sounds ridiculous, but it's quite fun to make thumbnails. I spent around 2 hours making Solvecast thumbnails because I couldn't find one that I really liked. However, I found one, but I enjoyed all the time I made making it, even scrapping the thumbnails. I was like, nah, that doesn't look good. I'll make another one. Whee! And it was quite fun doing that.
Yeah, my thumbnails, well, they're getting better, but they're still pretty basic and stuff. But I really enjoy making them just 'cause it's really fun to make them and to make them look fun.
Well, you said you're getting better, but our first thumbnail wasn't brilliant either. Especially the ones that we made with the videos taken down. However, over time you get better, and on most of my people may notice like my use of white on the thumbnail, so it doesn't look like you've got an image without the background being wiped off. Cube Addict said one of their videos took 4 hours to edit. That is a long time. I think it took roughly the same amount of time for the 100 subscriber special. However, I did have to edit that over multiple days since all of our cubes arrived at random times. And the reason the 100 subscriber special was really, really late, like we hit 200 subscribers before the 100 sub special was out, was because Royal Mail had a delay with Luke's package, and as such, we couldn't record Luke's section of the video until way before I've edited mine and Jake's. And so I edited mine, edited Jake's, and then edited Luke's way after, and then just mushed the videos together.
Yeah.
Is there any jobs you don't like?
I don't like really putting the voiceovers on it because I often, it's kind of silly to say, but I often screw up on those. So yeah, but to be honest, there's not really much that I don't like about making a video. Probably the worst part is actually like thinking of an idea to do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so for me, one of the jobs I don't like is recording, and it sounds weird, but the amount of mess ups I do is really weird.
Yeah, I feel the same actually.
Okay, so think I'm going to wrap up the Solvecast here. We've been live streaming for 1 hour 37 minutes, and that is actually
pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's actually the longest Solvecast we've done so far. So I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to MAJcubing, and check the link down in the description. Click on Matthew's channel and watch his videos because they are amazing. So Matthew, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Well, not much, but yeah. Thanks for having me on, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure to have you on our channel. Again, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and goodbye.
Thanks for watching.